Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Artbeats with Studio.t. Now I've got a special treat for all of you. There are pioneers in art, and then there are pioneering artists that put your country's name onto the international screen, onto the international platform. And one of those names is Mr. Hassan Meer, a graduate of the Savannah School of Art and Design from Georgia, USA, director of the acclaimed Stal gallery, and a mentor to many emerging artists. Hassan, thank you for having us in your beautiful gallery with your artwork in the background, some of your artwork. This show is really aimed at introducing art to some young viewers who may not be coming to galleries so much, but are creative soul inside. So my question to you is, how do you discover that creative voice inside?
I mean, you have to have a talent first. I mean, if you have the talent, you understand the basic element of art. There's two sides of art actually. If you master something and you paint, you have the ability to draw and paint. There is the other side of using your brain, your vision, your creativity. And you have to be very sensitive towards the things around you, the community, the culture, and everything. And that's make you to produce and be a good artist. I mean, if you are talented and you only paint without using your brain, you're going to be only an artist. But if you paint and think, you're going to be an artist and thinker. This is the other hand, you're going to be a real artist. So there's so many elements that you can use and be a good artist.
And how does one use that thought process of creating something different, which you are so known for, of really thinking out of the box in your from your installation artwork, from your amazing series, which always push the boundary, but in a very sensitive way?
You have to educate yourself first. You have to have a vision, and this vision is, for me, if I give you myself as an example, from the beginning, I always like to follow the trends. I started doing just still life portraits at the beginning, and then I thought this is just not an old fashioned, it doesn't satisfy me from inside. I still do portrait, but in a different way. Then I thought, why don't go to photography and installation? Sometimes you cannot express yourself in two-dimensional form. Sometimes you need to think, because the freedom the artist had since 100 years ago, when Dadaism started and pop art started, artists had a freedom to use different materials. I mean, sometimes you have a subject, and this subject you cannot use two-dimensional form. You cannot put it like in a frame. You have to let the people to touch it and hear a sound and visualize the elements inside. So that's where installation art is important for me. Also, you have to do a lot of research, and it's inside you what you want from the beginning. I mean, you don't have to force everyone to be like an installation artist or think out of the box. Some artists, they like to be inside the box. This is how it is art. I mean, some people, they only paint nature. You cannot tell them come and do something different. Some people, they just like to do horses. But they are regular artists. And the people who think different, they always achieve and be at the beginning, always. See, all the artists, if you go back to the history, who challenged the boundaries and the regular movement, they become very, very famous. If you see from Impressionism to Cubism to Surrealism, everybody introduced new form of art. Picasso came and he challenged everyone, and he became Picasso. And Marcel Duchamp and Rauschenberg and so many, even Belviola in video, all of them, they came with different concept, and they are in the front.
And this is the key thing about being different. art schools traditionally teach a certain way, and you know, it is a lot of structure that one does follow, and also society teaches structure, and thinking out of the box and creating art which is out of the box is about breaking that structure and really pushing the boundary. So how does one believe in themselves and not let the criticism of people who may use to more conventional stuff not impact your creativity process?
Criticism is important.
It is important, okay.
So you cannot go one step further without letting somebody to criticize you. I mean, if you don't accept criticism, you will not improve at all. I mean, okay, you said about the structure. Education, if you go to an art school, of course, they have a method.
Yes.
The curriculum, and you have to follow that. But at the end, they will give you the freedom, and you have to select what you want. I mean, if you want to select to study fine art, purely like painting or drawings, of course. But there's so many, most of the universities now introduced new, you know, majors. Like my major is in media art.
Yes.
I mean, it allowed me to learn all this computer techniques, plus lights and video. And I took my major in my master in painting in traditional. So I combined both of them. Most of the talented artists I have, they have architect's background and interior design background. Because their educational background is, they always work with the space. They think a lot. The painter, usually, the people who do painting, they use basic techniques, drawings, and so that's why also universities and the structure allow you if you go to a right direction.
So it is, from what we understand, it is actually criticism is good, because
criticism is very important.
It does challenge us to do better. And also, I guess, finding what you really believe in, even if there's, with the curriculum, it is up to you to choose what is the right curriculum for you, for our viewers.
Options and choices now. It's not like before. I mean, when I started art, the sources were very limited. I mean, I had to ask my uncle to bring me an art book when he was traveling to see the art book. Right now, you can access anything. You have all this information in your hand. I mean, if you don't improve, then it's your lack of your brain or information, or, I mean, you have everything. I mean, you sit in the computer and you do a research, you get tons of ideas and information, and you can just think out of the box all the time if you want.
Hassan, I had the privilege of meeting you a few years ago, and I was so enamored by you because at that time you had this collection which I absolutely loved. It was called The Place I Call Home. And the stunning piece which was up for awards internationally about the bride and groom standing in front of a dilapidated structure. Can you walk us through your inspiration behind this and the message of that piece?
Okay. I was fascinated like 20 years ago when I first, I born in Matrah, you know, this historic city of Muscat. And then when I was 2-3 years old, we moved from there. And I don't have much memory in Matrah. I do, because I used to go often and come. But I noticed the changes in the capital because of the oil, okay, of this modern life who came to Oman at the beginning of 70s. And people moved from their old houses and the villages and moved to better cities. People from Matrah, they moved to like Rui, and they moved to Al-Khuram, and they left their old houses, either locked or rented by different people. And my grandfather's house was one of those houses that it was locked for almost 20 years. I was studying at that time in the state. I came and I opened the door. I found so many interesting magazines and his private letters. So many memories, interesting memories. So those memories inspired me to talk about that period of time. So the grooms, I was young, 20 years old, and I in front of that house, I saw a wedding.
Okay.
After 35 years, I went there again. I saw only a broken wall. So, and some graffiti at the back.
Yeah.
So I tried to tell the people, I mean, people build house to live, and at the same time, everything has an end. It's just a circle of life.
Wow.
Yeah, I did like a series of almost 20 photos, and I'm still working in this subject actually. I still go to old houses and broken houses and take images and picture. And I have a nice poem, my friend poet Sama Isa wrote it. I cannot translate it in English, but it's very touching that point. If the rocks are falling down, tear, and nobody looking at those houses.
Okay. And it's all about abandonment and nostalgia about the
true.
time that was there. I mean, it was so touching. It just blew my mind away when I saw it. You have achieved so much international success and international fame and revered as an artist. How do you continue to find inspiration and continue to feel grounded to what is happening right now?
I'm telling you, it's not easy actually. I mean, right now I have a lot of commitments, and to produce the art how it was before, it was very, I don't have much time like before. And I'm trying my best. That's why I'm doing a lot of installation and photography. Not every time, but I do. But I'm still connected with so many important curators worldwide. And what I do usually, I also promote the young artists. So always I try to find for them a connection that I built in the past. I give them the opportunity. I send artists from the gallery to go for residency, for important exhibition. I do that, and I do it for myself as well. It was also a time when in 2003 and 4, after the Gulf War, most of the people around the world, they were looking at us. They wanted what the artists to produce. I mean, what their feeling and expression about what was happening in this region. So it's still going on. People still, and it was the first interest of Arab art. I mean, modern Arab art actually. They used to, and of course, Christian Sotheby's came into the region, and European collectors started collecting Arab arts, and there were like a big awareness. I mean, about the modern art, and I was one of those artists who took the chance to be part of this big movement, and we had a chance to exhibit in important museums. Right now, of course, because of the situation, things are. But we already have some. I have already a future commitment with. I have a new series that will come up soon. So I'm still producing work, I mean.
And what inspires you after so many years in the game of art? I mean, how do you still get inspired?
I mean, the way I think actually. The way I think and the way I sense things around me. And because I get affected sometimes with certain situation, and the situation led me to talk, and I talk through the art. Anything is affecting me because I'm very sensitive actually, and I have so many things are in my brain all the time. So I feel myself, even I use a camera or I do digital art or I paint, because I feel it's always in my brain, so it's affect my direction always. You cannot, because whatever is in your brain is reflected in your art. And the past and the present and the future. It was a time I was thinking about the past a lot. Nowadays, it's the time I'm thinking about the future. Because when you are young, of course you think of the future, but not in that sensitive way. But when you get older, I think you can realize that. When you get older, you think of the future, because there is not much time left. So what you want to do in your future, how you want to end up being, and I still have some dreams that I'm trying to achieve, like building a small museum, or trying to build a bigger studio, trying to encourage the young artists to find themselves in a better way.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think we did. I think in the last 5 years I did for the others, the artists, more than I did for myself.
And that is actually our next segment. But before I go into that, where do the best ideas come from for you? And when do they come? Like, are you in the middle of, when you wake up, you think of something?
The ideas, I used to have always sketchbook. If I'm working next to my bed.
Okay.
Now I use the phone.
Okay.
Because the idea comes to your brain in a second, and it disappears in a second.
Okay. So
you have to document it immediately, and then build it up.
Okay.
Sometimes the idea will fail.
Yeah.
You say, oh, it's not my idea, it doesn't work. So you build ideas, and I have a sketchbook, it's full of ideas actually.
I think that's such a great idea.
There is expiration date for all the ideas. Sometimes if you don't produce them at the same time, the period of time, then you will lose the interest.
I think that's a great advice for all of our viewers, for all our listeners, that whenever you have an idea, you must document it, because ideas need to be developed. And as soon as they come, you should have something in handy, a sketchbook or a phone or any gadget where you could record this. So there are pioneering artists that encourage the next generation, and Hassan is one of them. With the Emerging Young Artist Award by Stal Gallery now into its 6th year, it is really has been a platform for so many who want to find the freedom, the space, and the creative outlet to produce some avant-garde art. So let's talk to Hassan about the Emerging Artist Award program.
The idea started 7 years ago actually, and before that I was curating a show called the Circle Show. It was very international. It started in 2002 after my graduation, because when I was at the college I have seen art is improving. It's not only a painting, also it's not a photo, it's more of building up spaces. It's about thinking process. So I started with this circle show, and then I introduced the art and technology and installation art to the area. Actually, it was new also for the whole region. It started, I did the first edition, and the second edition was very successful, and we get a lot of invitation to show it outside of Oman, in Europe and other GCC country. And we did actually. And it was like very remarkable, and I did the last one actually. The edition was in 2007. I took art to the street. I did a show called Art and Street. It was circle show also. We did a video projection in Matrah market. We were hanging photography. When you pass inside the market, you could see the photography, and we used Beit Muzna, we used Beit Branda, we used so many old broken houses, and we brought artists to do an installation inside. And then from there I stopped. It was like a lot of work. I mean, I had of course Anwar Soni was helping me a lot, and a few other friends who were with me. But it was not easy to do like a small biennial inside the city, outdoor, and with limited sources. The funded was from Muscat municipality, but I needed more. My dream was to make it a really big show. Then the gallery, we found the gallery in 2013. Then I said I have to continue, but this time only with emerging artists. So I found some interesting emerging artists here. They were not actually thought they are an artist. They thought they are only digital artists in Instagram and Facebook. And then some of them, of course, they had an idea. They wanted an opportunity. I brought them, and of course I did an open call, like almost 70, 80 people applied. I selected 10, and this was the process that I did every year. And 6 months, like talks, training, developing their work, introduce them to new technology, and some resident artists who come and stay here at the gallery. And then we do the show. The show, we select the best 3. And then the winner, we send them again to to take an opportunity outside Oman, we send them like to different international programs. And it's not that, and also we keep them inside the gallery to produce and be part of this contemporary community. And they did the first edition, the second, the third, and we're doing the fifth edition now. Those youth and young artists, they were looking for a platform, they're looking for a space. They are not much interested in the traditional form of art. So I found that when I was young, also like them, and when I used to go to international art exhibition, I used to see only one or two Omani artists. I was one of them, but I was looking and said, but artists from a different region was like from Saudi, UAE, they were increasing. Mm-hmm. Every year you have 5 new artists coming, 6 new artists, and I haven't seen much from Oman. So that's why this program allowed me to establish the form of contemporary art in Oman.
Wow. And as you said, you handpicked a few artists, and they have gone on to having a platform where their careers have flourished as artists.
So we keep them in a level of they can exhibit anywhere, in the best gallery in the world. I had visitors that saw those artwork that they produced. They could be in any biennial, the best. Actually, I allow them to think of to look inside themselves and challenge themselves, see what they want. And also social impact is very important because they are from Oman. They have to see it from this point of view and bring some of them, they bring the mixture culture, international culture also within themselves. So there's so many platforms, so many ways of thinking to produce those interesting pieces.
So for Omani, young Omani talent at home, how do they get to be part of this amazing platform? What is it that you would look for, and how would you encourage them?
See, I see the new trends. Most of the young artists, they like to be visible only in social media. They can achieve in a certain level. If they want to be a real artist, they don't have to be inside the mobile. They have to bring their art outside that device and expand.
Yeah.
And they have to. I'm sure there's some other new spaces will come up. If they want to Stal gallery, they are welcome. I want them to come. We have a capacity to host as much young, talented artists in Oman and see the place for them. Actually, the whole space is for them. And of course, we do our regular exhibition because people have sometimes different tastes. So we do painting, we do like photography, but our focus is the emerging artist.
So you guys heard it here. If you're an emerging talent and you're in Oman and you really want your voice to be heard, contact Stal Gallery, their website, and you will get a chance to be part of this amazing platform, the Emerging Artist Award. So Hassan, what is the parting message for young emerging talent or just viewers who are interested in art from your side?
I think they have to use their ability and their talent. They don't have to be and delay their concepts. They have to come and act actually and produce and be visible, and not only in social media but in the real life actually. They have Oman is I think it's still needs their resources, and the government also investing a lot of money on education. I think when they have the talent, they have to use it. This is my message to them.
Thank you for imparting all this knowledge. It has really been an inspiring time to spend with you, and whenever one is in your company, it is really, you feel like you just want to create something. You have that effect on everyone.
Thank you.
And we are lucky to have you. Oman is lucky to have you. And thank you for continuing to carry the torch of creativity in this country.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being part of Artbeats. My sincere thank you to Mr. Hassan Meer, Stal Gallery for hosting us, and keep watching Studio T and knowing what is the Artbeats next in Oman.